Welcome everyone to Politically High Tech with your host Elias. For your edutainment, I have an exciting newcomer. This one's gonna be legitimately exciting. I'm not fluffing. Look, and I'm gonna bash the stereotypes of IT. You know, they're a certain race. They talk very robotic and they're very boring and unintelligent. No, not this one. Ooh, not at all. You know, she's a music artist, and she even create I would say for some who are proudly single, risque dating card game. You know, it does have. I love the design of it. I ain't gonna lie. I love the little. We'll get more into that, but she's also IT. Look, she is what I will say. Let's just face it, a Renaissance woman. We don't use that term enough, especially on women and women with rich melanin. For you that don't get it, it's a black woman. Okay, in plain English, melanin. Come on. You get it. Not for my listeners. You're the smart ones. For those of you who are just tuning in, got a mouth, okay? So let's get straight to the good part here, because I could create my random monologue. So it's not going to be this boring tech. It's going to be very different, which I love. Personally, I love people who are very interesting, who shatter the box, who bring new kind of energy, and it has to shatter my own box. And look, we all got our biases. I got mine for sure. And I love it when it gets shattered and destroyed in front of my face. Biases make you dumb, especially when you add steroids to it. You provide comfort to it. We all got them, but it's okay to challenge them. So let's welcome Siquoyia Blue. Don't worry, we're not going to have depressing kind of blues here, okay?
No.
So let's just be clear. Let's just be clear about that. Oh yeah, no, it's joyful. I listen to some of her music and download. You want something truly different, talent, get her to music. I don't want to hear any excuse. You got Spotify, you got Apple Music, whatever you got, YouTube Music. Come on, most of those free stuff. Yeah. Oh, Camp. Look, listen. So let's not. I don't want to hear. Oh, I can't access this thing. No, if you do that, you just be disingenuous.
People do act
or
like
that. No. At that part, I'm not nice. I can understand if you have a tech issue, fine. But no, if you want to act, oh, I can't do this. I can't. No. Shut up. You just don't want to do it. Okay. Let's just be clear about that.
Yes.
So, no, I've seen dumb excuses, and to be honest, I'm fed up with it. You just don't want to do it. And, you know, we're so spoiled, so lazy as a society. We just think one click is going to solve everything. And no, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it requires work. It requires, toughness.
It does do that.
Yeah,
people don't want to do the work. And it's...
You're right. You're absolutely right. So, and look, I used to be that lazy person. I've been there. Okay. I've been there where I think, oh, I don't have to do much. Everything comes to me. You know, that's the brainwashing a lot of people have. I used to have that, but no, I found out you can't shortcut everything. I tried. It doesn't work. Spoiler. It really doesn't work.
No.
Some things require effort, time, and, since we love to click everything and get everything instantaneously, quick Amazon orders, quick this, quick that, quick match, even dating's falling apart because we like quick. So
that's a whole nother thing.
I think date has been ruined. Oh yeah, for sure. Nah, I think dating. I think social medias have really damaged, not completely ruined dating, but it's done a lot of damage to dating for sure. Like we can debate about gender and demographics. I'm not gonna get there. I just say just the big major damage to it. All right, so back then people used to talk, used to ride, used to do all these things, but since we got online and everything's so virtual, we like to just like to be comfortable. So doesn't want to move. Yeah. And that even affects workers
and it's hard.
too.
Yeah, and it's hard because people are trying to, they don't have time to go sit at the bar. I knew a young lady in Atlanta. She's going to Houston Steakhouse. You don't know Houston Steakhouse. It's like the creme de la creme of steak, and all the certain type people go there. And she would go there and just try to see if she can meet a man, but she never could meet a guy. She would go there after work, and she wasn't meeting any guys. So it's like, you don't really know. It's like at the end of the day, it's just going to come. It's going to come. It's not, then, it just might not come. But I just think at the end of the day, it doesn't, just going out don't mean you're going to meet him or her neither. That's just that's how I see it,
Oh yeah, with catfishing and ghosting and all that. Because, I'll be there. Yeah. Fast forward to the moment, insert silence, get sounds, all of that, nothing. And Look, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a dating expert. Don't come to me for dating expert. I will teach you how to be alone. Like, you don't need that person. I can teach you to cut off toxicity. That I could teach you. I'm confident in that. But they don't come to me. I can tell you about political analysis, who I think is going to do it. About what's going on and all that. I'm comfortable in that. But they no. Or
Yeah, I can just tell you
just say real short.
the right questions to ask. That's all. The right questions so you can know if that person's compatible, because that's what it breaks down to, is the right questions. You don't ask the right questions, you don't know who the hell you got with. So you're in this relationship with somebody, you don't even know them. That's what people found out during the pandemic. They all stuck in the house with this person, like, oh wait, I didn't know Charlie like I thought I knew Charlie. I didn't know Susan like I thought. So those things are so important. Just forget how fine somebody is or their money. See if you're compatible, because that's what's going to get you to last the test of time.
All right, you gold diggers, entitled people, you've been called out. Okay. And I perfectly agree, because divorce was through the roof. They couldn't stand each other. That's wow. I was dating the enemy. I was married to the enemy. I didn't know, because all they did was they were too busy doing their work, living life, and until they were forced to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, forget it. It was not. Well, some of them were literal knives, and metaphorical knives were unleashed, and they couldn't. They really hated each other. They couldn't stand each other. It's sad, but it
could be little things.
Anyway, I hate how his feet smells.
Yeah,
or the way he snores.
You got a dog. I don't like your dog, or
right.
I mean, just nobody talks about those small things. They think it's just about cheating, or it's way more than that.
And this girl loves cheap perfume that really irritates my nose. Simple petty stuff like that.
Simple stuff. It could be big.
Or maybe the way she talks. Oh, she sounds so snotty, like she knows everything. Things like that. I try to.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So you know what? This is a good transition to your card game. To address these compatibility issues, or even, I don't know, maybe we got to outsmart these petty squabbles that sadly causes a breakup. Look, I do get money is a big part of a lot of them, but sometimes it's just not that. I mean, speed dating, there's going to be those petty things for sure. You don't know this person got money or not. Maybe the way he looks, the way he talks, or they could think, he's gay, he's effeminate. Things like that has happened.
Things have happened. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, because and sometimes getting the question out, you can read people and you can see things. I mean, if that person's aware, and I think that takes a certain type of person, because you got to be socially aware, and everybody's not socially aware. So even with a card game, you can still lose because you're not aware of the person's movements and what they're doing. But at least you got a way to ask the question. And so I think that's important.
And let's see, what is that card? What is that game called? Like, it was
Dating Assassin.
Yeah. Oh, I love that name is just so it's so interesting. I mean, I'm good at assassinating dates, but that's not the goal. That's not the goal there, isn't there?
No, it's not just. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. I want to see what she say.
I'll say it's not just for a date. So I think you could even engage just social, conversation. Dating assassin is one of them. But I can say if you just want to get to know someone, just fundamental icebreakers, I can see you could be used just for that. So it's multi-purpose, which is good, because some people ain't going to be in a mood or feeling risque just to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whoever, right? So I think that's something to think about. It doesn't always have to be, what's the size of your special part? I'm just going to say it like that. I'm talking about people. or your body count, those spicy questions.
Well, and you can always skip the questions you don't want. So the thing about the game is that I had to update the game instructions a year into the game, because people act like they have to answer the questions. Once you get the card game, it's in your hands. I don't own the game after it's in your hand. So you can always say pass on the question if you don't want to answer it. Or if you don't want to ask it, you can say pass. And so that's one of the things that you can do. I think people didn't understand that. So I definitely updated that in the FAQ area on the website, because people is wild, acting like you crazy. Like, you got to answer questions. And to me, there is no stupid questions because somebody said, "Oh, well, what? This is a dumb question." If you ask somebody, do they like dogs? No, it's not, because people are so obsessed with their pets out here, and somebody might not want you to have that dog or cat. So that's not a stupid question. So it's all opinions, which is everybody has one. It is what it is. But this game is to get you to think about what you really want and get down to the nitty gritty of it from the jump. Or even if it's a few months in, and you can still ask these questions, because it's going to tell you a lot about the person. And before I even put the game out, I went on dates and tested the game for 2 years. I had, this idea for a long time. I was working at Riot Games, which is a big tech company. And I was talking to a lot of the guys there, and they would tell me what they had issue with. So all these questions came from what I've heard and also my own story. So it's not something that just coming out the sky. These are questions people want to know,
I want to say, just be brave, people. And this is why I can't say,
Yeah.
this is my personal pet peeve. I hate the half-ass participant. They only want to participate when things is easy. Then don't bother. Look,
They
if I'm
do.
going to say this, but yeah, I know. No, you're right. And it's sad you got to clarify that this is optional.
I
That's
know,
pretty sad.
right?
'Cause I gotta be honest. That's sad. But hey, please
I
I know
learned
I can't
that.
even hold it. It can't please this super emotional, sensitive person. And look, this is coming from someone who used to be a sensitive kid. I get it. However, no, if you sensitive, whatever, you're not even ready you're not even ready for step one in dating. Just move aside.
So I was
Get some
thinking that too.
help.
It's like, maybe you need to go get some. It's just a question, dude. Like, it's not that serious. So I think that's something I learned, and I learned that about life, because doing this game, I was like, yo, this is about everything. Like, even in tech, if you don't explain it to the pinky toe in detail, they don't understand. You have to break things down. And I didn't know that. So the time where I found out about the card game was the same time I found out about technical documentation. You can't, it's because somebody went to Harvard and you assume, oh, this person been doing tech for 50 years. They know. No, you can't assume that. They didn't study that particular software. They may not know it. You have to break it down like a baby. And I had to learn that. So at the same time, I was just learning things about people. And I'm like, wow. So it was like a social experiment the last few years, really.
No, that's how you get the product to be better and better. You got to do your first version, and then you're gonna make some improvements. And sadly, I can't believe that was one of them. But you know what? It is what it is.
I said, now I know what to do for the future games. Break it down, man. That's just how it has to be.
People just, oh my God, I gotta ask about my body count. I don't know if you got that as a question. Look, I never got the game yet.
No, that's not one, but one is like, have you ever had a felony? And this one guy got so mad about it on Amazon, he left a bad comment. And it was crazy because he wasn't even an actual buyer. He was somebody that was through Amazon's program for people that want to get their products reviewed. So he wasn't even like someone that I would market to, whatever. He was some random guy. But he put in the comments, you shouldn't be asking people if they had a felony or if they have STDs. So I said, for someone that's serious, hey, all we want to know is we want to know. I mean, can I just ask you? You can tell me what you want to tell me. It's just a question. You could say, no, I don't answer that, Cheryl, whatever. I don't know. But something must have happened with that game where he got in trouble and he went off on me. And that was the first time I realized I have to update the instructions and say you can pass on the questions, because this guy was wilding out. But that was the only one I've gotten where somebody really went off. The rest, no one else said anything about nothing like that.
First, look, I got a lot to say about that guy, and I'm going to say this. You're guilty as hell for reacting like that, all right? And look, if you want to be with someone, you're going to have to know the good, the bad, the ugly, the interesting, the whatever. And if you're really serious about dating, people should ask the question, have you committed felony, misdemeanors, or what sexual cooties you got? You want to accidentally catch one when they mingle. I mean, come on. I was like, ooh.
And no one
You
judging
know,
nobody. We just want to know. We want to know. And now it's like you see it now on TikTok. More people are talking about it now. It's being brought up more. Why? Because more people are getting the situation. You think about what happened in Houston, the HIV rate being so high and all these other things. Now it's out in the open. And so my car was kind of, the car game been out for like two and a half years now. I feel like, it's before it was time. It's time at the time, but now everybody's talking about it on the TikTok. So, it's interesting how that works.
look, for those of you who are ready for a real relationship, I'm just going to say like this.
Yeah.
Support her. Get the dating assassins. And you know what? I'm going to get it myself too. Because you know what? It's so risky.
Yeah, write a review
it's so
for
interesting.
Yeah, write a review.
I want it
it's
now.
like a psychological thriller. It's a psychological thriller movie. That's what I call it.
I want to know what this guy was complaining about. I bet I'm going to find something interesting. I said, ooh, and knowing me, I always ask these kind of questions. And
I've done it before the card game came out. Like, and nobody, I guess because I attracted people that was kind of blunt like me, maybe in a way, because I'm a quiet blunt. You wouldn't expect me to be blunt, but and I went on dates even before I had the card games created. I asked somebody that and they answered and that was that. So if they lied, they lied, but that they answered the question. So it's like, you can blame it on the game now. You say it was the game that did it, So now I don't care. Look, I'll stand 10 toes. I don't need a game to blame, but I'm saying for some people, you might need it.
Especially those who hate accountability, who hate truth. It is. No, it is hilarious. I'm trying not to laugh. I was like, I'm trying to just. Oh man,
I laugh all the time. It's a social experiment.
Yeah, I just say you need to be brave if you want to really participate and get the full experience. If you just answer, "Oh, have you dated before?" No. Have you have STDs? Well, I just said I never dated. Well, you get certain diseases by needle injections, so that doesn't require sex. So
that too, yeah. So you're answering, and so that's why I make a choice. Do you have a doctor? Some people don't date. There was one lady on this dating show, I think it's called Pop the Balloon or one of these shows. She was standing 10 toes down saying, if you don't go to the doctor and stuff like that, like in general, just to get your cholesterol checked and all that, she said she don't want to date you. So one of my questions is, hey, do you have a primary care doctor? Do you care about your health? Because what if I'm a health person and you don't give a shit? We're not going to work out. We might not work out because if I want to eat healthy and be healthy and get my cholesterol checked, you might die at 50 years old because you ain't even getting your blood drawn to see if you got cholesterol issues and stuff. So those are things that's got to be asked.
And I did see one clip about a woman, and so far she sounded reasonable and everything, but by the time she asked the men for their ages, all involuntarily gave it. And by the time, but when the question was flipped to her, she refused to answer it. She verbally danced around it, and all the men popped the balloons and said, "We're not interested in you." I don't know what else you could be hiding. And, I'm gonna be honest. I'm with the guys on this one. I don't go by gender. Look, if the man is a piece of shit, I'm signed with the woman. I don't believe that that gender loyalty and all that garbage. I just go by what's right and wrong. And that's gender neutral, people. Okay?
Yes. There's some women that's wild too, and I don't agree with them neither. So it's crazy.
Yeah. So if you believe men are always right, or women's always right, or the non-binary is always right, there's something wrong with you. Okay?
Yeah,
that's
something
all I'm
wrong.
say.
But yep.
And that's gender bias. I'm just going to say like it is. It's just gender bias.
Yeah, like I'm just going with
hate me all you want. Talk bad about me on Reddit. Talk bad about me on Reddit all you want. That's fine. I don't care. Just say, "Oh, this guy, that's politically high tech." Yeah, Reddit. Yeah, Reddit loves to rant.
I love Reddit.
I do agree. I haven't been there in a while because I'm just a very busy person. Yeah, I got better things to do, Reddit. But you could talk about me. Let me live rent free in your head.
Well, I don't know why they talk about you. That's crazy.
No, they haven't yet. They haven't. But if they do, thank you. I love you too. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's right. That's a good thing.
This is so you already answered my second question. What was the response? You've been positive. You got a few of them while now. That's okay. No. This is good. Because this is good. I said free flowing. If anything, I pivot and I skip some questions because it's already been answered. Yeah. So you already answered about the response. Cool. It's been positive. Even though there's a few people wilding out, I love those. So that answers that. And then anything else you want to add about this spicy game
Well,
before we move on?
I just want to say, if you do get the game, just leave a freaking review. Because I'm all self-invested. I'm not going to. I don't have 10 people with me putting up money. This is all my own. So that's why it's hard for me to run ads every day. You know, like some I've been compared to Cards Against Humanity, and there was like 4 tech bros that created that. They all had money. They were working together. I'm by myself. So it's just great if people leave reviews and help me get out there into the algorithms.
No, listen. Support a sister. Come on. She's doing it alone. And guess what? The design looks good for someone who's doing solo. Come on. Now, Cards Against Humanity is just what? Black and white cards, black and white text. Come on. Plain.
Yeah.
This is coming from an owner of Cards Against Humanity. It's a good game. Sometimes if the people are boring and forget it, they just don't play
depending
with
on the
them.
person.
It depends what cards you got too, and if sometimes you don't got good cards to generate the comedy. I try to provide the most outrageous or comedic responses. If I can't do, I'm just gonna throw a random thing. The question could be about what's the ugliest looking animal. I just throw a kitten because that's all I got. That's the only thing that's an animal, whatever. So,
That's
I
hilarious.
lost around. But I think this one is more open ended. Cards Against Humanity is kind of inflexible in some ways. And the design is very plain. They put like practically zero.
Yeah, I like color, and I noticed a lot of card games after mine came out. I'm seeing a lot of red and black. I said, dang, it's crazy, but I said, it's all right. All the questions are different. It's like there's different bread in the store. So just get all the games, y'all. They're all different questions.
No, it's just people just support independent people. Come on, just this is not a Molten Bradley or a Hasbro and all them big companies. I got them board gaming, and guess what? Some of them are pretty stale. Some are classic. I mean, I still love Monopoly. Even though it exposes
me too.
The good, the bad, the ugly of capitalism.
Capitalism.
But, hey,
I didn't even know it when I was a kid, but. Yes.
Hey, I mean, and there was a more socialist version of the game that never got popular, and it was actually virtually canceled. So I was like, but I think it should have came out. I mean, look, I'm against socialism, but I think could have came out. Maybe it had an audience or something like that. I'm as free market as I don't know, just corporations just rigging on that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of cancel culture. I'm not big fan.
Yeah, me neither. No, I'm not a big fan of that.
Just suppressing things because it's uncomfortable to many. And I just say, look, Monopoly is doing really well. I mean, what's the fear? I mean, it's like 200 different editions of Monopoly at this point. Some of it are ridiculous in my opinion. But hey, it's just again, I don't care if I'm gonna sound repetitive. I'm gonna get this for sure, and I need to start restacking on more spicy games. So, and I'm gonna start testing people out on this, especially when I start having my social gatherings again. And I'm gonna see how much they avoid. I'm gonna keep a record. Oh, you avoid this particular question.
There you go. See, that's what you do.
That's just me.
And yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I played this even with my cousin and my aunt, and they even answer questions. So, but they're also, they thought all the questions made sense to answer. So yeah, you can play with family too, because eventually I do want to make a game where it could be for everybody, but I have to get this one where it needs to be first before I can get to anything else. So before, I don't know, it's a lot. I'm trying to do a tech game, card game too, so I can teach people some tech stuff. So it's a lot, but I need to get this game where it needs.
No, and you're addressing a problem that's big. Like dating is really damage. So I think it was smart just to release this. In my opinion, I think it's a good decision. It's an informed one. Rather, the success is short term or long term, but it was at least an informed, good decision based on the trends. Because days went downhill. People don't want to have kids. We don't want to do this. Maybe this could be an unlikely solution to this problem. And in the tech, a lot of people, and I think and I like that you do. I think. Well, you're a multitasker, so I can't even judge there. I mean, I
am multitasker.
Yeah, you are a multitasker for sure. The profile just capitalized. That's one of the few words I want to describe multitasker. renaissance. Okay, I mean, this is not me just
Yeah.
blowing smoke and kissing butt. It's fact, and then it can be easily backed up. I have the receipts, people, if you want them. I mean, by the time I share the
Yeah, I'm not
links, you're
lying.
gonna
Look.
know.
Yeah.
Look, this is just one part. This is just the card game. And then now
Yeah.
let's link it to the somewhat. Well, it's not gonna be born with her. The IT stuff, the technical stuff. I mean,
Oh,
how you got
yes.
into
Yes.
that? Wow, you're still a music
Man,
person and a social person.
this came out of nowhere. So, you know how someone say, man, I wasn't even thinking about this, because when I was growing up, first of all, I wanted to play basketball because I thought I was taller than everybody when I was in like elementary school and middle school. I was like, I want to play basketball. I'll be Lisa Leslie. But wasn't good at basketball. I mean, I could have been good, but I was just too shy. I couldn't think. I had ADHD, didn't know I had it. So then, so then after that, I started singing and stuff to like when I was in daycare and stuff to the bullies and stuff. And I just was saying Ronald Isley and Kelly, what's her name? Not Kelly Clark, because she wasn't even out at the time, but what's her name? Kelly. She was a soul singer. So I used to sing Kelly Price. I sing her music,
Okay.
R. Kelly, all types of songs and stuff to get the bullies to stop bothering me. And it was just like, I said, this is what I'm meant to do then. But I didn't know how to make money, music in it, how to make money in it, because my folks were healthcare professionals. They didn't know much about it. They just knew, man, a lot of people can say, what you trying to do? Like, they're like, look at me like I'm crazy. So as time goes on, I'm like doing this music, trying to pursue it. I went to my first college was arts. Well, I went to Woodside High School Performing Arts. Shout that out. I started there in 9th grade. I was able to get in because you had to get selected. So I was in advanced choir for 4 years, advanced acting for 4 years. So that was amazing. And I would sing at some talent shows. I would recite poetry, which I didn't know I could do poetry until then. And then after that, I was like, oh, if I didn't get a record deal by the time in 12th grade, I lost or I'm a loser. But I didn't know nothing about the industry to know if I wanted a record deal. So then when I finished high school, I hated school. So at that time, now I love school. Now I love studying. But back then I hated it. I was like, man, I ain't going to no regular college. I was about to go to Clark. It was something in Georgia because we moved to Georgia towards my 11th grade year. I graduated at Dutchtown and I still finished out with choir, advanced choir and stuff, got a medal. And then I said, let me go to Ernest Tube Atlanta because then I can learn audio production. It was a lot of people saying, oh, well, you can just produce and make money so you don't have to be broke while you're trying to be singers. I'm like, okay, but I didn't know crap about Ernest Tube Atlanta. I didn't know about the money issues that it could ensue. I didn't know nothing. So I went there for a year, didn't even finish the Ernest Tube Atlanta because they weren't honest with anything about the pricing and stuff. So a lot of people had to go to Full Sail and I didn't want to go to Full Sail. I couldn't afford it. So after that, I got depressed. I was like depressed. I was 20 years old. I was depressed. I was like, man, my life's over. I ain't gonna be no singer. I ain't got no song. But then, I think around that time I was meeting different people in the industry. So after I left high school and went to college, and after I left college, I was meeting a lot of people in the music industry and stuff. And I realized that I didn't want a record deal no more after that. I was like, what is going on? I've been through so much where they wanted me to be somebody I wasn't. And then I tried to be that. Like I tried to be this at the time, the popular singers that was out, be similar to them, but it just didn't work. And then also I had this confidence issue too. So that didn't work neither. But then I didn't like what they were saying. I want somebody telling me, hey, you can be in this girl group, but you got to live in this house and do this and that. Like I've seen so much, or they want you to be the girlfriend or, so you can try to get here. And I just wasn't that desperate. And I wanted to prove people wrong at the time. I wanted to prove people wrong and said I wasn't going to get there, but then it just wasn't worth me doing that. So then after that, I still recorded music. I created my first album at 23 years old, Limitless. Before that, I did Chocolate Man, which a fan from MySpace actually paid for that for me, sponsored for me to get Chocolate Man done. So I got that done. And actually worked with Mariah Carey's producer on that one of her producers. And so Chocolate Man was one of my favorite hits. And I wrote Chocolate Man when I was in high school. I was 14 years old and it came out, later on. So I did that. Then, after that, what happened? Okay. So then let me fast forward. So after that, I saw a lot of industry, didn't like it, didn't like what's going on. Then I said, you know what? I want to be a boss. I don't want somebody to own me. I realized I wanted freedom. I didn't know that. I thought singing was freedom, but it wasn't. You still could be a paid slave. And I didn't want to do that. So when I hit like 26, I was on Facebook one time and I was just looking around, trying to figure out my life. And I saw this tech program saying, okay, if you completed, 1 year or 2 years of school, you can go and join this tech program. So I joined the tech program, and it was for Cisco Certified Network Admin. I didn't know what the hell that was. I was like, I said, dang, if I'm smart enough to do this stuff, I hated school. I didn't do well. I went there, finished, it took me 3 months, 9 to 5. So I became a certified network admin. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I tried to get a job. I was trying to get a job and stuff as a network engineer. It was hard. I ended up moving to Cali. Yeah, I moved to Cali, and then I got a job in tech. So I started working the help desk, and I worked my way up because I wanted to move up. I wanted to make enough money because I said, well, I want to invest it into the music, and I want to get my own recording studio, so I'm not dependent on Joe or somebody for myself, because I realized at that point I didn't want a record deal. I realized I didn't want somebody to own me. And I met other artists that was similar. So I did that, and I started working my way up, and then I became monitoring engineer. So and monitoring engineer is like data engineering in a way. You're just making sure there's no bottlenecks or any issues with CPU, which is computers, and server issues, like if the server's full, stuff like that. You're just checking stuff like that. But you're monitoring it using a software. So it could be a software like, Grafana is one of them, or SolarWinds, and you're just monitoring stuff. You're setting up alerts to let people know when something going down. So, and sometimes you're running scripts now, you can run little codes and stuff like Python scripts, PowerShell scripts. So I started getting into that, and I like that because I wasn't always at the desk. With help desk, you're always at desk. Now, it was still good money in help desk. You can make really good money, but I wanted to be more free. I wanted to be able to go to the bathroom and hang out my dog, do something else. So that's why I said, okay, I got put into this monitoring engineer thing. And sometimes when you get put in one thing in tech, it's hard to get out. It's hard to like jump into cybersecurity or jump into this. And so, that's where I'm at now. I know that took a long time to get to that point, but I had to get to tell you the little journey.
No, don't worry about that. It's free flowing. Any future guest is a free flowing. I don't manage. I don't like doing that. I want to know who you are with minimum interruptions. That's how I roll. Especially those who are regular listeners, you know how I do. I only interrupt if I see if it's going way off the rails in my standards, and that's a very high threshold. I mean, if you're talking about like Barney, it's all okay. What the heck does Barney have to do with this? Let's go back. But no, that's not the case. It takes a journey, because it's just, you got all this creative talent that's, let's be honest, not normal in IT. A lot of them are just computer geeks, mathematics, science, scientific backgrounds, and they soulless, some of them. I'm being honest, some of y'all soulless. I've interviewed a few of y'all as well.
I'm
never gonna take care of this data script issue. Does not compute. It's probably the closest thing to angry they get. Oh, go ahead.
And they're so following the book that sometimes they don't find the issues because they're not left and right brain. Like I'm left and right brain. So it's like I can see how to make, like I could just figure out different ways around things. That's what they call neurodivergent people now. But yeah, I mean, when someone's so stuck on one way, they can't. That's why you see a lot of stuff going down with tech that's not working out with all these alleged smart people, because they're not seeing outside the box. They're stuck one way.
Well, that's what makes you stand out, because you got the creative side, you got the analytical side. They're all working well together. While one of them, they got the analytical side on 2000, and the creative side is, does it even exist? Good question. I'm sure it exists, but it's not working. It's at 2% at best. And it's hard to fire up the rest. I was very left brain until I exercised. I actually got some right brain capability, especially figuring out problems. That's what it really came to. Wait a minute. I'm thinking about 1, 2, 3. No, maybe we got to get out. No, maybe it's not none of that. Maybe we got to, no, I'm thinking it. It took me some time, but I realized I was more creative than I thought, because the colors and all that. So wait a minute. Maybe it's this kind of issue. It's just like troubleshooting, like podcast scheduling. So no, wait a minute. If I can make myself more flexible, great. Things like that.
That's the thing. I think I got to exercise.
The podcast scheduling, or I learned I was actually more creative than I thought, which I was actually happy, because I thought I was going to be one of those smart nerds that just stick to all analytics and 1, 2, 3 ABC has to be that or nothing else. I'm screwed. No, so I'm happy I
Mm-hmm.
actually got some creativity in the person. I was like, okay, that's good. I think as a kid, it was already
Yes.
kind of out there, and I suppressed that, just
Mm-hmm.
add the analytical one, so I could be the smart person, so to speak. So now
Mm-hmm.
that's my own little struggle, that I don't get to talk about. But I think just
Wow.
people gotta be curious, introspect, learn about yourself. So just thinking you
Mm-hmm.
could just be just this box, be this nerd. No, maybe you're a militant. Maybe you could be a kick-ass nerd. Maybe you could knock somebody
Yeah.
out. Maybe we are a combination of things. We're not just
Yeah,
one thing
everything's
or
made
the
up
other.
anyways. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's made up. So if someone's doing several different things, they're not a bad person or scatterbrain. Not all of them. It's just that that's just how they're wired, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how I see it.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I think we definitely need more IT people like Sequoia here, instead of just these
Hmm.
robot people who just got no personality. So I said, I just treat you like a machine. Once you don't work, I'll just throw you out because you're not gonna be fun. You're not gonna be at least human. I don't got time for this. And I ain't gonna lie, as a New Yorker, I get angsty pretty quickly once I don't see certain things working. If I see if I'm putting too much effort and there's not enough return, ah,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't want
Nobody
to deal
got
with you
time
no
for that.
more. Yeah, exactly. Oh yes. Oh, my throwback days. Oh, I miss that lady. Miss that lady. My
No, that's
favorite
why I
meme
like working
star.
remote. Keep me remote. I don't want to be in office. I can't be in office
Oh,
ever again. I can't do it. So,
my day job, I'm a bit both. I'm a bit both. And to be honest, before I couldn't stand working from home, but now that has shifted completely. Now I can't stand the office because all these fake people. I'm just say like that. I could
that's
say choice
yeah,
words.
that's just I just like chilling at the crib, being my own energy, and then work. That's what I like.
No, yeah, no. I got my little setup. I got my little ambience music, or I could just sneak in the political bull crap. Is pay attention to spicy stuff. I won't get in trouble. And spicy doesn't mean I'm left wing or right wing because I'm a registered independent, and they both crazy in my opinion.
Well, hey.
That's why that's where I'm at. Look, I
Hmm.
don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. I don't discriminate. That I discriminate crappy character. That's where my discrimination is at.
Man,
Crappy character. And
talking about tech, creativity, and working from
yeah, no,
home.
oh yeah, I was working from home, and I have become a proponent of working from home, and, and honestly, I love for the most part. The only one bad thing I need to
Hmm.
address is, I'm just be really honest, I could be very lazy at times. I just don't want to get up. That's my issue. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's a great thing. That's one thing I miss
Yeah, it
about the
really is.
office sometimes. But other than that, there's a lot more benefits
Hmm.
than drawbacks, in my opinion. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
I know you come here
Yeah.
listening to me about remote and
No, you're
all that good
fine. You're
stuff.
fine.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
for
fine.
you I'm fine. And then some of these listeners are picky. Want to hear about other stuff. No,
Oh,
but
dang.
yeah, someone could be picky. But other than that,
Mm-mm-mm.
all I gotta say is, look, I like to bring guests. See, these are the kind of guests I've been looking for. Those who are different, those who challenge stereotypes and normal thinking. And these are kind of people I like. Not just
Yeah.
those who just, status quo people. No, that makes me liberal in some
Hmm.
ways, but it says just, oh, we gotta do everything the boss says. Well, if that's the case, why some companies are falling apart? We're doing what the boss
I mean, it's a
says,
lot. Yeah.
and
And then with the
I
whole
think,
AI
yeah,
implementation, they don't even know how to really use it. So they're firing all these people, and then you leave somebody to use AI software that don't know how to use it. So it's a lot going on in
yeah,
tech that you just wouldn't even know. It's just weird. It's like, okay. Um, And you can see, I mean, a lot of the people that are in high up positions, they don't really know the tech. So you can go in there and say hallelujah, linky doodle. They don't know. They don't even know it. So, I mean, I'm not saying, personality and sounding smart is one thing. And that's
mhm,
what I feel like tech can be like in a way. I mean, I think the only thing is the coding interviews, you might can get caught there, but even there, it
mhm,
depends on who's doing the coding interview. So,
right.
it's just weird because I just never would have expected this in my life. Like when I got in tech, I just thought everybody would be on. Like I didn't know. It's very
Well,
interesting.
and me, I say I got some tech experience. I'm not a tech worker by any means of the imagination, but I figure out some of my tech issues that customer service people can't even figure out. You dingbats, and some of y'all should be fired. In my personal
Yeah,
opinion.
they hire in certain people, so they don't, you know, I stand out,
Yeah.
in tech all the time, because I just feel like people think that I'm trying to be the boss or step on their feet. I'm not. It's just, I mean, if I know something, I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to do the work. But sometimes people, they don't like that.
Mm.
So.
Now they say you're difficult to work with. You're not a culture fit. As coworkers say, they wanna nicely throw you out already. These corporate
Or it's a
correct
love
terms.
hate. Yeah, love
Yeah.
hate too. Like they don't want you to go, but they'll just mess with you, but they don't want you to go. They won't fire you. You're just stuck there. Because they know you're good, and then they'll just mess with you. While you're still there. It's like, well, just fire me then. So it's a lot you got to go through when you're a person of color rising up the ranks. Ain't for the ain't faint of heart. It's not. So when people be like trying to be cool and say a title, I'm this engineer. That's cool for certain people, but for me, it's like I'm surviving as this engineer every day, trying not to poke the bear. But also you have to do your work at the same time. You can't be meek and quiet because then they're like, well, you ain't. So you got to know how to walk that fine line. It's like a game. Like I said, a social experiment. So it's one of those things where you have to know how to do that. And especially if you're someone of color. And that's one of the hardest things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I think you said it so well. Social experiment. Yeah, the job is such a social experiment,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand that. Yeah, that's a line I personally walk with. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not liked, but they know they need me because I solve problems that most people
Mm-hmm.
can't. And
Uh-huh.
and sometimes I'm very vocal. I'm surprised I've ever been fired, by the
Uh-huh.
way. But as a luck thing, I don't recommend you do that, people. I'm just saying, just don't. This is like, do I say don't do what I do kind of thing. You can say it's hypocritical. That's fine. There's a comment section. Have your little Reddit moment. Express your anger. Just remember, YouTube cancels you. Rumble. Wait for this to get on Rumble. Then you can say all the spicy stuff you want.
I forgot
All
about
right.
Rumble.
No, Rumble. I'm surprised Rumble was stuck around because a lot of the competitors against YouTube, they fell apart quick. There was VidMe. There was
Yeah.
all these other stuff that they fell apart. They fell apart because there wasn't the you already said this before about they have the marketing and definitely the potential just to
Yeah, that's
beat
what I'm
them. Even
saying. That
Storyfire.
marketing is a beast because just because somebody has money doesn't mean they know how to run ads. So I learned that too. Like, just because somebody has the money, they could still be so lost on how to run ads. And then you go pay somebody else and they may not even know what they're doing. Then you're stuck. So it's like one of the things that I had to do was take a course to learn how to run ads. And it's expensive though to run the ads, but dang it, at least I know the information. So when I get the money, I can run the ads. As simple as that. And it does work because I took that course. So
Look at that.
yes,
Level up, people. Level up.
got to level
They go,
up.
they go, the little video game term, level up your
Yes.
strategy, ad utilization, all that. Just spend $1 million blindly, just hoping something will stick.
Yeah, or paying
Maybe you
somebody
already,
you don't know because you don't know if they can, they could tell you a big game, but you don't know. So that's why I said that you just gotta, like I think David Banner said, you're a slave to what you don't know. And it's like, that's why certain things I do have to know. Some things I can probably delegate, but the marketing part, I have to do that unless that person is proven and I've seen their works. I just can't just go and give somebody money. And that's what I learned.
and the same thing I want to say about politicians. Look at their track record, not their beautiful speeches, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they don't match. They do not
Mm-hmm.
match. So stop falling for the word salad or their beautiful speeches. Look, they could sound just as good as Obama. But if their track record is like, I'm going to bash them, you can think I'm Republican, but I don't like Trump either. Joe Biden on some things, okay? There's a problem. So I
I just don't
get what
think
she's saying.
and I'm devil's advocate because I think that the billionaires are running the world anyway. So I really, that's
Yeah.
who's running it. So even if some president come in and got the biggest heart in the world, they can't, they're not in charge. They can do certain
Mm-hmm.
things. Now they're in charge if the billionaires like what they're saying, then they're in charge. Like they can get stuff done carte blanche. But if somebody comes in and want to do the right thing, it's going to be opposition, opposition, opposition because the billionaires is who's running the ish. Well, you know, they took down that documentary about the Koch brothers, which was on Hulu. I don't even know where it is, but if you watch the Koch brothers, they're billionaires and they put a lot of money into the government to do what they want. So it just, until that changes, that we're in trouble, regardless of who's in there. That's just me.
No, you're right. I've said this before. So look, voting Democrat, Republican, that's very pea brain. You're gonna have blue Wall Street or red Wall Street. Wall Street's still there. They control it. Look, if they're letting certain things slide, you got to question why they letting this policy slide, but not this one. Why they're against this policy? Ooh, it would have taxed them by 20% across the board. And I agree with that. This is why I became independent. I realized they both were wacky. And look, I saw I was a very moderate Democrat. And I was a moderate Republican. I realized that both parties were crazy. I said, screw it. I'm just independent because y'all both crazy.
Well,
both are corrupted.
Yeah, they are. I mean, when I voted for Kamala, I just voted because I knew that with Trump, I knew that he was going to go against my own interests and other people. Even though I am capitalist in my own way because I am trying to make money and help other people. But also I knew that, hey, if he takes away my health care and take away my benefits that I need, then I lost. Now, if I'm somebody rich like Beyonce, then that doesn't matter. It's like, whatever. But even though she cares too, but I'm just saying, if I was, I could be that way, but I'm not. So now I'm like, okay, I don't like everything about either person, but at the same time, who's going to take away my benefits and the things that I need? And Trump is one of those people that's trying to take that away. And so I just don't want that. And I didn't want that for someone else. So,
yep. No, that I understand. That's why I'm kind of like a voter guy. Look, if you like benefits and all that, you know what party, like healthcare and all that, that's Democrats. You care about your gun rights and all of that, that's generally Republicans.
And the crazy thing is, yeah, because guns need to go. Okay, they don't even allow guns in certain countries because what happened is people are trigger happy. They got mental issues and all this is not checked. And I was watching a movie yesterday and this guy saw somebody come on his land. He had this gun ready to shoot. And eventually he shot and killed a dude that was his friend. And he was just so ready to shoot, like gun happy, and he didn't know, he just didn't know any better, and he shot his own friend. So those things are real things that are happening. I mean, so I'm just like, just take it away because of that reason. Because it's just too many people get angry and they just trigger happy, and there's just no way to validate it.
Oh yeah, no, that guy, he should be arrested. He committed a murder right there. Let me just be clear. This has come from someone who even supports 2A to some degree. You don't rule by yourself. You ain't got nobody. Go have a gun. But if you in a city, you shouldn't be having a gun. Only professionals should be using guns. So I have a very moderate position. Yeah. I'm for guns and all that, but I think education needs to be needed, and definitely we definitely need some level of say gun control.
There got to be some more laws.
I'm more in the center. So I don't want to take all the guns away. Those who will be responsible, but that particular guy, no, that's got to go. No,
because some people got shot up like recently. Like the guy pulled up recently. I think it was I don't know where it was, and pulled up to a boat and just started guns ablazing. Like, I'm like, what is he doing? So, and then somebody got shot in the church or some type of Mormon church. So it's just too many people getting shot up. So I'm just like, man, I mean, it needs to go or something for now until y'all figure out something. Until they figure out something, because oh boy.
It's sad.
And even like
people
even
were
the
mentally ill.
weed.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. The weed.
Sorry,
I want to hear about this.
No, I was just going to say something about weed. So basically the weed now is not regulated like it was. So it's like, let's say you go get a gummy bear in Vegas, you can go to the weed store and stuff. The gummy bear now is too strong. So you don't know what the heck you're getting. It used to be regulated to the point where you can have a whole gummy bear and you're okay. Everything's fine. Now it's like, it's so strong. You can't even, it's bad. And it's because of the new laws now, it's stronger now. So it's just certain things are changing so much, where it's something that used to be great. And then a small thing, but it's not small at the same time because people use that for health reasons, all types of stuff. So I said, and I even told the girl there one time, I told the lady who was working there at the weed store, I said, I told her, this is a lot stronger than what it used to be. What's going on? She said, I know. So she even knew. She's a bud tender and all that. So she knows. So it's crazy. I was like,
Yeah,
And food
I
too. The
regret.
food's not
I
regulated no more neither.
oh
So we all effed up. That's what I'm saying.
yeah
That's why I
yeah.
said right. Voting certain people in is could be death. Because more people are getting sick now. They're trying to hide the COVID stuff. Dude, COVID is bad. I read, so a lot of people, don't read stuff, but I read a lot and I'm seeing stories and it adds up. People are sick from long COVID. They're trying to say COVID not there. I mean, I can go on and on about this, but I'm just telling you that voting the wrong person in, we could be back in a pandemic. Let's put it this way, because that's where we're going. Because there's stuff out there they hiding, and it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh yeah, no, all the aggressive slashes happening across the board of federal government. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, some of the diseases that we eradicated, they pop right back up. I wonder why. It doesn't take a genius to figure this stuff out. I'm not a scientist. I was supporting the funding and all of this. I said, no, I said,
Yeah.
about time to put RFK. RFK was like the most mixed bag person he picks. So I can see some good, but once he goes that conspiracy theory route, we are cooked.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. Like you got to let people do what they do. And I'm not saying that someone can't research and study things like I can or you can, but I feel like let the doctors do their job, bro. Like that's what they do and stuff. And that's why in the past, a lot of people dropped from the plague and died, like thousands of people, because there was no vaccines or nothing. Now people if they want to kill, I'm telling you, if the government want to kill you, they'll put it in your oatmeal, which they did do, by the way. There's a story. They put it in the Quakers oatmeal in the black community and got them been sick. So if they want to kill you, don't worry. They don't need the vaccine, my guy. They could put it in your oatmeal, which they doing probably. Put it in your Popeye's chicken. You going to get you, all that people is trying to get that dang on chicken sandwich. You probably got radioactive disease, my friend. And I didn't do it because I thought something was up. I was like, hell no, I ain't going over there. I was like, what's going on with that chicken sandwich? So I'm thinking that way. They ain't got to get you with a vaccine, buddy. You ain't gonna put in your chicken sandwich, which they doing.
Oh, this is spicy. I like this. This is spicy takes. Hey, rather you agree with it or not, there's a comment section. Yeah,
you brought it out.
I kind of did. But
I usually don't talk about this.
This is.
I never talk about it.
No, don't worry. This is not going to the kids. That's for sure. This is gonna be just to the maybe the teens. All that you can outsmart your parents.
They'll find it.
They'll find it. They'll find it, and
they will.
Listen, you're right. If the government wants to take us out, they'll do something far more efficient and slick than the vaccine. And, and they have done on birth control on. What's the other minorities? Oh, in Puerto Rico, they said this magic pill will bring you freedom. Why do you think that PR has a fertility issue? Yeah, for back then, 1960s, they were experimented on. So you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I know this is scary for some of you. If you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, you better stay. That's what woke really means. Woke doesn't mean DEI and all this. Woke means you aware of what's going on in the world. That's what woke means. But they changed the definition of woke to DEI and women and all that stuff. That's not what woke was originally made for. But some people might disagree on that, but that's what I used woke for, was to stay aware.
Oh yeah, no, there's two definitions. There's the one you mentioned, the original definition of that, and then there's the political definition where you said it's DEI and the diverse equity question. I was more critical of the political and the execution of it. I think it's a good idea. It's just I think the implementation can be better. I don't want to abolish it. I think it could work, but I just don't think corporations should be doing that because look, they already tossed it away when it was inconvenient, and this doesn't surprise me. For someone who's just alert,
yeah.
What do you think they're gonna do when they're losing money? They're gonna throw it out. They care about the green, the green. They care about the
green. Yeah, it's classism, because I said, everybody's on racism, but remember, classism is here too. So it's like you might think you're in the crowd. If push come to shove, the rich gonna care about the rich. They don't care about you. Bye bye. You're poor. It's classism. If you look at the old UK movies and the US movies in the 1800s, it was all about class. They didn't even want to hang out with poor people. So, and it didn't matter what race you were. They just weren't gonna hang out. And that's where we're at now. People act like we all should be to just work together so we can change the system. Just change this pyramid system. Because that's what it is, a pyramid.
No, well, you already heard our political takes. That was not planned, by the way, but hey.
That was not planned, y'all. Oop, no.
Listen, I'll allow that. Nope, it ain't no oops. I love it. I think it was genuine, and look, and this is a thing I'm going to say to future guests. If you're a tech or development kind of guest, no, if you're a political guest, no, you must talk politics or I'm throwing you out. There's no escape for you. But if you're tech
That's
and
true.
development, that's entirely up to you. I have tech guests talk about politics before. You're not the first one. And the other guest, I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Josh Caraballo. He's a good man. He talked about that, and he
Oh,
was
nice.
challenging me a bit. I was like, you know what, and he's Latino, gay, and all that, and but I'll just say, I understand what you're saying. The woke I was criticizing was the political woke with the DI and all that, because
Yeah.
I just think, listen, it's caused some problems. I think it's a good idea. It could just be
Well,
implemented better.
yeah.
But rather you agree, disagree. I don't have all the answers, so I'm happy. I'm open to hear
Yeah, that's
whatever.
true. I mean, I think DEI was put in place because a lot of people that are in charge are white males, and they're going to hire who they comfortable with hiring. So it's not that that person isn't educated enough or not. It doesn't even matter. It's just that I like Chucky because I know Chucky. I'm comfortable with Chucky. We talk about games together, so they're going to hire Chucky, and Chucky may not even be the strongest candidate. But so I'm saying this to because even at like I hate saying a game. I hate saying the name of the company, but even at Riot Games, when I was there, I noticed that even some white guys didn't fit in with the other white guys. So if you weren't the white guy that was like the other white guys, you was X'd out too. So it's all about that boys club, and that's what they called it, as a boys club. I mean, the other companies I work at, everybody was cool. That was the only company I've seen a difference at where it was like, oh, but when you're working in the hospital industry, it's a little bit different. There were different people there, but that was the only time I noticed. I was like, so that's why DEI came about, because you're hiring who you're comfortable with, and that person may not be. You could have maybe found a better person, or you could just be open to different opinions for different roles. And they actually told me they hired me because of that. They wanted to stop hiring the same type of person. So it's one of those things, and so that's what happened, and I think that's why they did it. I mean, I think if you're a dog, you're a dog. You're gonna get a job. You're gonna get in, whether you're black or white, whatever. If you're a dog and keep going, you'll get in. But I do think it did help people get in that otherwise wouldn't have been able to get in, no matter where they went. It's just one of those things. I mean, we shouldn't have to say DEI. It should just be like, hey, let's let different people work here. That's all you got to say. Let's let Elias work here is a podcast host. He's different. Let's switch it up. Besides the same people, that's all That's all they were asking. That's it.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I criticize even the left with this completely correct these terminologies. I said, listen, just say hire people from different backgrounds, and if you want to vote use of skin color, I get it. It's gonna sound racist. I get that. So look, hire people with different backgrounds or unconventional backgrounds. You can use different terms. They're just saying, oh, as we BIPOC, you can include BIPOC, if you want. That stands for people, black, indigenous, people of color. That whole thing stands for. And and look, I say organic, natural diversity. That's just my ideal world.
Yeah,
I'm not always gonna
organic.
get that.
Yeah,
You want to hire someone
and
because you really want to bring someone who's different, who's gonna challenge the status quo and make the companies better.
yeah,
And those companies who manage to do that, they
they
grow.
do better. They do
They do
better,
better.
man. I've seen
It's
it.
if you stick to the old ways, why do you think Blockbuster is now down to one store in Oregon?
See?
It's all
And
you know.
Netflix went to Blockbuster trying to tell them to jump on. And Blockbuster was like, nah, that's stupid. Why somebody want that? Blah, blah. And Netflix kept going. Now, it took Netflix 15 years to do it, but they did it. That's why I said tell people don't give up on what you're trying to do, because it could take time and it doesn't mean it's a bad thing all the time. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be able to move with the times.
Yep, and the Blockbuster, that's a classic, like what we like to call a boomer example. Oh, we've done that way for 20 years. Why should we change? Remember Kodak? That was the name of picture taking. Well, ever since this device for taking pictures, forget it. That went bye-bye.
Just forget it. Yep.
So
Innovation.
adapt. Yep, innovation, adaptability is the strongest trait a human has. If you don't utilize that, you are out the door for sure.
So that's why I told somebody the other day, you're continuously studying. I told another tech person that I was speaking to, I told her, you're going to continuously be studying, because she was stressed out saying, why do I always have to know all this? I said, it's never going to end. You got to keep studying forever.
It'll be a lifelong learner until you're dead. That's it.
Pretty much.
That's it. Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it.
That's it.
You know,
That's
if
it.
if you want to learn, just retire, not really, or just get another job
You
that's
got a choice.
more,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yep.
for sure. Let me just talk about. Well, actually, no. Let me. I have this bad habit. Anything else you want to add before I jump to the whole abstract soul thing? Because I would definitely talk about
No,
the
no,
music.
you're good. I can jump in the abstract.
You know, you already mentioned before about get into the music industry that they want you
Mhm.
to be a copycat, a fake. I don't know, be the
Mhm.
next. Let's throw a name in there. I don't know, next Mariah Carey or Avril Lavigne,
Yeah,
whoever the heck,
yeah.
or the
Yeah.
next Nicki Minaj or whoever, right? There
Yeah.
are successful female
Yeah.
stars. I mean, what inspired you to come up with that? Is this your way of just being
Well,
independent and carving your own path?
well, yeah, it is because I mean, I remember one time I was in college and I had my song "If You Want Me to Stay," which I did a remake of the Sly and Family Stone song "If You Want Me to Stay," but I changed the lyrics, and it was doing well on MySpace. I remember this record exec from Bad Boy A&R told me that I was unorthodox as F. He told me I was unorthodox as F. He didn't want me to. He didn't understand why people was listening. He didn't understand. He didn't understand like what the hell is this? But and it stayed in my mind as time went on, and I realized that I just want to be avant-garde type. I want to just do what I want to do because the point of doing music was for me to escape the norm, the mundane of life, which, you grow up, you see your mom go to work, go to bed, go to work, go to bed, date, whatever. I don't know. I didn't want that. So I thought that that's what I was trying to escape that. And so I said, okay, that means I just got to be the boss then. That's what that means because it just wasn't working. And then I was kind of resenting music. I was like getting so that's when I decided to create my own genre, abstract soul, where it's not just you can't, always pinpoint it. I'm always gonna have a soulful voice. That's just me, but like I can always change my style if I want to do a verse a certain way. If I want to do 4 verses and then a chorus, I'll do it. If I want to do one verse and then a chorus, I'll do it. If I want to do no chorus, then I do it. Like I just wanted to. And even Michael Jackson said before he died, he wanted to do something different. He wanted to change music. And I felt like it's so inspired seeing that old videotape like 10 years ago that it pushed me to do abstract soul to show people, hey, I'm not just this one person and that I'm gonna push for different styles and hope other artists can follow suit and be their true selves and enjoy their music and stuff. And yeah, so that's why I call it abstract soul because it's like alternative soul, but I just made up abstract because I just feel like I want to do my own thing. So that's how that came.
And keep people guessing because abstract is just you can interpret it as
Mm-hmm.
multiple ways. Oh, can it be fuck? Can it be this? Can it be that? I mean, keep it going, and
Mm-hmm.
I just keep doing that because that now I can find now I definitely found new music to my personal Spotify playlist. So go
Yes,
and
thank
support that,
you.
people. There's just this is another call to action. No, we don't do two, but hey,
And
there's
this
something. Go ahead.
yes, because this is what Imma do forever, like, music is something that's like a calling, some people do music because 'cause they're trying to make quick money or they wanna look cool. I'm doing it because like, a calling, so it's something Imma do forever, it's just and I like, being behind the scenes with it, just sharing it on the streaming platforms and, I haven't performed much lately, but I may do that in the future, but I just like putting it out there and let people hear it. And in 2080, though, some kid's gonna find my music and be like, "Oh, cool." So I just think that that's kind of exciting. Even I'm not gonna be here, but it's kind of cool to know you put something out there. Because even podcasting, you put it out there, somebody's gonna find this video in 2080 and be like, "Yo, I think it's so cool. It's an asset. Music is an asset. People they put music down so bad now because the music industry is just evil. Like they put artists, it's just hard to make money if you're not on tour and a little, and I don't, I don't want to be on tour back to back because I want to live, and that's why a lot of artists that was like, coming out here in Vegas and stuff doing their residency, a lot of them say they got sick or something like that because they was tired. I feel like most of the time they're tired of performing every night. So you want to still, it's just a way to own independent artists can find a way to own themselves, but you just got to put up your own money and it's just more fruitful that way because and then you don't have to worry about someone on your butt all the time,
They talk about burnout, and the one that comes to mind was Post Malone when he was performing, he collapsed on stage.
Oh,
That
I
was
didn't know about that.
yeah, yeah, and he was a
Mm,
big star that came from YouTube. He did music star YouTube, and he blew up and got big. And he collapsed on stage. I saw the official.
mm,
Ah, he didn't get enough
dang.
sleep. He was probably overworked. But to your point, I picture that when you were saying because you don't want to be the next Post Malone dropping on stage. You just
Mm-mm.
collapsing. You need to recover.
No,
You got to cancel days of of performing because of that.
yeah, I mean, back in the day, somebody was doing a podcast on this a while back. You didn't have to perform a lot to do your music. You just made money because you sold that vinyl or you sold those CDs, and you don't have to really perform it much. And that's what I liked about it. I like being behind the mic personally, and just because people think that if you're not performing, you're not doing music, but you are. Anytime you're recording, putting anything out online, or even just submitting for a movie, which I want to get my songs into movies, you're still doing music. So don't let anybody think you're not doing music just because you chose not to perform, or you just don't perform much. So that's what I had to learn too.
Exactly, just because it's not on everybody's faces. I was like, oh, what the hell to
Yeah.
Siquoyia? I haven't heard her in 10 years. Has she become irrelevant?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She's probably cooking up
Yeah.
things behind the scenes. And, I think I got one question saying, oh, when you haven't, why you haven't done podcasts in a while? So listen, I got other things to do besides podcasting. This is my second job.
Yeah. Podcasting is takes work. It's not just it's work to research guests and do this and that. It's not, that's why a lot of my episodes are solo. Like if you listen my podcast, I'm barely having guests because it's so easy for me to just jump on and say, yo, this is what I read. This is what I learned about this book right now. This is what I learned. So my podcast is unorthodox too. I realize I'm an unorthodox mofo in everything, tech, music, and podcasting, because my podcast is not normal.
No, let's see. Which one do you have? I think the Blue Alchemist is one of them that you have. And look, she's a podcaster
Yeah, that's
too.
this one. Yeah, that's just one,
And yeah, no, check that out. Come on, follow her. Give her some support, people. Give her some support. Really.
Yeah,
That's
yes. If you like
another
some
one right there. You already got the card game. You got the playlist. And there's a podcast as well. Come on, she's a real renaissance.
Yep.
What's more you want? What do you want to do? Change your skin white? I don't know. Look,
Hey,
even if she's able to do that, listen, she's not a human being from there. She's more like a hybrid chameleon or something like that. And not to mock anyone who got those kind of conditions. Just look, you want to do like crazy magic tricks? I mean, what? Come on, she deserves a Renaissance title. Sure, I'm not even that talented. I realized I could talk well and engage people. Even though people said I was gonna be like a quiet nerd. What you think? Push the right button.
I think it depends on who you're around. Who somebody's around is how much they talk. Because for me, I can be very quiet around certain people, and then some people you can't shut me up. It just depends on who it is.
Exactly. There's just some people that's so vain, so fake. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. It's wasting my time. And I got a lot of debates with my own family. Said, Mom, I'm not talking to that person. That person's fake. So what do you want to know? I said, and I even gave him proof. Look what this person's done. Look at no. This is what no. No, I can't fake BSing for so long with people.
Me neither. I get stressed out. I have anxiety trying to I can't do that.
I mean, I either get real quiet and that person continues to bother me while I'm giving them obvious signs. I even told them a few times, I don't want to be bothered. Oh, I'm happy to explore. I'm happy to unleash. I'm happy to unleash those kind of people. Let me breathe. Leave me alone. You'll be all right. But keep poking this bear. You're going to get clawed. And
that part. Don't keep, and especially as you get older, you just don't take it no more like you used to. And that's how I learned that. Then when I had turned 35, I said, I said, okay, I just new person, new person.
Oh yeah. So it's just don't, if you want problems, just keep provoking me while I tell you I don't want to be bothered. So I'm good. Just let me recharge and then I'll be ready. And that's how I know I could recover when I'm about to get stressed out, angry, or I just feel like I want to punch somebody already. I just go somewhere where I don't want to be bothered. And I find a spot where it's hard to find me. And then I'll come out when I'm ready. And I say this because, look, I know anxiety, stress, and all that's through the roof. You gotta find what works for you. Some of it could be running,
you do,
meditating, or listening to her music. There you go, shameless plug-in.
yeah. Listen to my music. Have a glass of red wine or some tea if you don't drink. Get some tea, some vanilla milk, and relax. That's just
drink some mocktail. Yeah, drink some mocktail. You want to look like you're getting drunk, but you're not. This is a virgin drink that looks like a cocktail. There you go. You want to BS a bit. Look, mocktail's a thing. I'm more team mocktail at this point because I was like, oh, you still like alcohol? So, yeah, I do. Yeah, it has none in there. And then eventually they figure it out. I said, why are you not drunk? I said, well, It's a mocktail, you idiot. Come on. You should know by now,
Oh my
because,
God.
but hey, let me not get too much of my personal life, but, look, just find something that relaxes you. Okay. That works for you.
Yes,
That's what I'm going to
yes,
say. And that's a little bit of the
yes.
mindfulness and spirituality. Cause look, a lot of things come at us
Hmm.
every single day.
Oh,
And,
we're in spiritual
you
war.
need, for sure. Oh, absolutely. Every day is a spiritual war.
It's a
Some
whole
days are
nother
just,
topic, but
oh yeah, that one,
yeah.
especially that one, of course,
Hmm.
God willing, you return, we would definitely touch spirituality for the next season.
Hmm.
Because yeah, that's a whole other thing, and I've dived into that a lot. I say I'm practicing on that, and I think it's good for people. Look, we're spiritual beings. If you want to be
Hmm.
atheist, you don't want to believe in it, that's up to you. But don't
Hmm.
dare get in my space when I'm being spiritual. Don't You could talk bad about me a
Hmm.
thousand miles away. I don't care. I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna seek that you talking bad. You do you.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do me, because I know what it's like to be disconnected
Hmm.
spiritually. Especially as a teenager, I used to be
Yes,
depressed
yes.
too, because when I lost
Hmm.
my father, I even attempted suicide. I had the perfect plan. One problem
Mm.
is I didn't execute
Mm.
it until I heard a message. So,
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
about to jump the roof. I was one
Hmm.
step away from doing it until I heard a message from God,
Mm.
real
Mm.
strong. And I was like, okay, not going to do it. If it was anybody else
Mm.
talking me out of it, I would not done. If anything, I would have done it faster. So I don't want to hear it.
Mm.
You're fake.
Mm.
I can't deal with this anymore. This world's bullcrap. Blah 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 blah. Listen, and that's how I know there is higher power in this world, for
Yeah, I'm
sure.
glad you're here.
And this is
Mm.
raised, and I was raised I was raised as a Catholic, but I didn't really believe a lot of the stuff that was being teach, because I saw so much hypocrisy in the
Mm.
church. I said, people supposed to do this, but you haven't
Yeah.
seen them smacking and cursing and all of this. And as a young kid, I was already putting two and two together. This is nonsense. This is nonsense.
Yeah.
Like me,
Yeah. I mean,
like
you can
8
have your
years
own
old.
personal relationship. Yeah.
Exactly. But they was making it into a communal indoctrination, and that's a big
Yeah. I
problem.
don't like that. I don't do that.
Yeah, the
Yeah. I was
organized
Baptist and
religion.
yeah, I don't do organized religion. I just do
Not me
my
either.
own
Yeah.
personal relationship with God, and I always get an answer. So hey, somebody listening, they happy with me because they'll give me an answer eventually.
Yep. Look at that. Yep.
I tell you that.
That's a little tease. That's a little tease of that's like the little breadcrumb spirituality that you're gonna get. Trust me, we
Mhm.
already said so much good stuff. So much
Mhm.
fun too.
Mhm.
I normally deliver fun, but I think it's like give or take. We both entertain each other, which is good. To me,
Yeah,
that's
we
ideal
did. I
for
had so
me.
much fun on the show. I had a lot of
Yeah,
fun talking to
that's
you. Like talking
no,
to a
yeah, that
friend that I haven't seen in a long time.
yeah. That wasn't my original intent, to be honest. I'm exposing myself. It was just gonna be just be fair, neutral. But I realized that's too boring. I said we gotta put some flair, some
Mm.
fun, some
Yeah.
infotainment, mix the two. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of bootleg ADHD out there. I'm one of them, by the way. So
Bootleg.
people, we just want to claim it because we don't want to be bothered. We don't want to pay attention. We want to do this. Okay, that's
Mhm.
our code. We want to do something. Like it's and I say self-reported. Take that with a grain of salt. Medically diagnosed. Look, take that one more seriously. But I'm self-reported. I'm not a real ADHD guy. If I say that, that's a hint that you're boring me to death.
Oh
That's
my
a hint right
God.
there. I don't care. I'm that
Oh my
shameless,
God.
and that's all I'm gonna say. All right, let me. Anything else you want to add before I wrap this up?
No, I just want to say, I mean, I just had a great time talking to you. I had so much fun and I love guests, becoming a guest. They said I wasn't going to become a guest. I was for a long time, like as far as with just guesting in general, I wasn't even going to be a guest anywhere, but then I decided to do it and it's been a great journey. So I'm happy that I decided to do it, get over my shyness. So, and I had a great time talking to you. So I'm grateful.
Wow, now you figure that out. I thought you was extroverted. Wow. Hey, you learned something new.
Oh, I'm an
Me.
introvert.
Yeah, I'm me. I'm an ambivert. If you want to go by the binary system, I'm like barely introvert, barely. Because there's some people think I'm very extrovert because when
Hmm.
I talk to people, I can speak on stage, I could do those things,
Well,
even
that's
if it's
true.
last minute. But you could be a functional extrovert. You could do extrovert activities. You are introvert. So I'm
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
kind of. I'm
I
not that.
can.
You're not that super shy, quiet kid that refuses to talk, wear a black hood, and be in the corner. No, not that or super. No. I'm not in
No.
that. I'm not that extreme. I'm more at the barely introvert category. Because you know what is, I do value my me time. And that's why I say, yeah, I do
Yeah,
value my,
that's important.
solitude, temporary solitude does recharge me. So that's why I consider myself like a
Yes, that's
functional.
good that you have that.
So that's
Good.
that's on a serious note, people. That's why I consider myself a barely introvert. I'm an ambivert. There's days I can be pretty extrovert. Oh yes, have fun and all this and go to events. But then there's just days that leave me alone. I want to be alone. I'm socially bipolar. That's another way you can say it. So that's I don't want
That's
to be bothered.
hilarious. It's
I don't
yeah,
want to be
especially during
bothered.
these times.
I was like, listen, if you're gonna be entertained, I'm kind of like a big kid. If you can't entertain me, leave me alone, or I'm just gonna start being a troll and all of that. Like I got my side too. But for the most part, you're not gonna counter that. You're not gonna counter that for the most
Yeah.
part, because I most of the time I am well behaved, believe it or not. Even though this podcast might prove otherwise. All right, so.
I love
So
it.
I'm just gonna say it
I
like
love it.
that. I'm just gonna say it like that. So
I love it.
again, my listeners and you and the fake ones, follow Sequoia Blue. Get her
Yes.
risque card game or spicy card
Mhm.
game. Get her music. Listen to her podcast. Dive deep into
Mhm.
the blue. There you go. Not the
Mhm. Dive deep
depressing
into the
blue.
blue.
Dive deep into the blue,
Beautiful
people. Come
live
on.
unique entertainment.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh, look at that. So come on, just
That's
one
what it
more of
stands
her.
for. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's such a good play on. I wouldn't be clever to figure that out. No, I wouldn't, and I could figure some of those things out. Not that one particular one's not. It's two other ones, but I love it. I love it nonetheless. It's like, oh, but look, just
Thanks.
get her music, get her card game, and follow her podcast. Come on, three things, and well,
Yes.
one of them will cost you at least, and then the other one might
Yeah, one
indirectly
will
cost you.
cost.
But look,
Yeah. If you wanna
support that.
donate, yes.
Donate to her as well. She got an easy. Well, once I put her whole, I would say it's like a customized link tree. I think it's even better than a link tree to be honest. Because link
Yeah,
tree's
yeah, I
kind
had
of
to yeah.
it's nice. It's a nice art design. It's big too in the donate. So if you want to choose to act
Mhm.
blind, all that's because you want to donate. Okay, scroll down to
Yep.
get that. So yeah, so no, give her support. Come on, she's independent, she's real, she's unorthodox. You want to support that too, right? You're tired of the fake corporate crap that they
Mhm.
shove down your throat. Support her. This is real counterculture
Yes.
here. Real counterculture. Not just I
Mhm.
say because it's a buzzword culture here. So all that's gonna be in the link in the
Counterculture.
description. And all those links, okay? And now for my podcast, like, comment, subscribe, normal
Mhm.
YouTube thing or Rumble. And for reviews, I only pay attention to ones on Apple. There was one smartass who says he gave me reviews and he didn't. I'm gonna expose your name if you dare freaking bother me or talk crap. I will eventually find out because you know what's funny? Life has a way of telling me things. I don't seek it. It just comes to
Mhm.
me. And I will
Yeah,
expose your
that's yep.
name and I will expose even the I got receipts, people. I got receipts on some of you.
That's
So that's
right.
what I'm gonna say about that. Because people just want to act a certain way and act like it didn't happen. I will call it convenient amnesia
Mhm.
or selective dementia, whatever term you want to use. They want to act dumb when you bust them. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. Listen, I could go on for another hour, but I'm not gonna do that because me and her got better things to do. Okay, people. That's what I'm gonna say. And one more thing, there's two links I want to give. If you're tired of the news noise, about stocks, tech, all that, quick read. I got the new paper. That one's free, and the link will be in the description as well. And the final thing, website. I know some of you need a website, so that's a way of
Mhm.
supporting me, giving me money without you putting much money.
Yep.
If you want to spend a little more,
Yep.
that's optional. That one's optional. The free website guys. That's what they call lame
Mhm.
title. I know, not creative. It's not Sequoia creative. It's lame as hell, but they will help you build a website.
Hey.
They're really good at what they do because my website's will be popping up real soon, and you're gonna see a nice bipartisan website. You're gonna see some red and some blue, and maybe a little bit of purple in between. Okay, so we're popping up real soon. My own website, okay, and you'll
Yay.
be helping me give me money. Okay, you'll be giving me money without even spending much money. So, which I love. I love that. To me, that's ideal. Like that's ideal case.
Yes.
Some of you need websites. Some of you podcasters, you need a website because we're
Mhm.
helping these companies
Mhm.
grow. No, we gotta help ourselves, and then of course help the
Mhm.
podcast community in large. We should start doing that instead of just buffing these corporations that are exploiting us right now because we the hot buzz.
Yeah.
Once we become irrelevant, they're gonna toss us away. That happens all the
Yeah.
time. They care about money, not about
Mhm.
people. I don't. I'm sound like left. Well, it comes to corporatism. I say I lean left. I'm kind of more against. I'm more mom and pop shop kind of person. So that's what I do. That's why I do. That's why I support. So yeah, you could consider me left when it comes to raising corporate taxes and all that. I'm
Yes.
jumping for that.
Yes.
I am for that. I'm probably lean to the left. It's like with the guns. I lean center right. I just think people should have guns, but not in big cities. There's too much mental illness in there. You get that strain out, then maybe we could talk
Yeah.
about letting
Yeah.
loose. No, we gotta address that first, okay? Let's be smart.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Uh,
We do.
we want only responsible, sane people that have not no nut just shooting up the place. And sadly has been happening way too
Oh,
often. It's,
man.
it's more
Way too
common. So
much.
that's so
Mhm.
we gotta get that straighten
Mhm.
out, America. And
Yes.
we just need to. So that's the
Mhm.
whole thing I'm gonna leave you with. And all I want to say is this, the final part. The part they say, oh, this guy's finally done. Once you complete this audio or visual journey, you have a blessed day, afternoon, or night.
Mhm.